Welcome back everyone to The Flirting Guy. This is going to be the most influential and far-reaching presentation yet. This week's title is Islam is not a religion, it's Satanism. As to why I'm doing this report is because the Muslims themselves have asked me to research their holy book and find the areas which are hateful, violent, sadistic, and I've found them all. There's nothing the Muslims can do to negate what I'm about to say, since I have with me the Quran. This presentation and the ending thereof aren't meant to be hateful or violent in any way, but to save the souls from eternal damnation in hell. I want everyone, even the Christians, to take notes. This presentation is based on ex-terrorist Walid Shoebat's books, Why We Want to Kill You and Why I Left Jihad. Part 1. The Earthly Muslim Society and Muslim Heaven. First, let us examine how the Muslim religion came into being, because it is very important to understand the mindset of the modern-day Muslim. According to Muslim writers, the Kaaba was first built in heaven, where a model of it remains, 2,000 years before the creation of the world. Adam created the Kaaba on earth, but it was destroyed during the flood. Abraham was instructed to rebuild it as he was assisted by Ishmael. While looking for a stone to mark the corner of the building, Ishmael met the angel Gabriel, which, in this case, is the devil Satan, who gave him the black stone, which was then whiter than milk. It was only later that it became black from the sins of those who touched it, Muslims. All the Muslims, when they pray, bow down and worship in the direction of Allah, Kaaba, 5 times a day. And notice, everyone, how Kaaba is trying to take away Jesus Christ, as taking away our sins, and this stone is replacing it. That's the first sign you should see something is very wrong here. Let's talk about slavery, something everybody agrees should have been abolished in the 20th century. Unlike the United States, every Islamic country has slaves, and every Muslim is allowed to keep slaves. Chapter of the Woman of the Quran, Quran chapter 4, verse 24. Forbidden to you are married women, except for those in your right hand as slaves. This is the law of Allah for you. Page 367, Digest of the Islamic Law in Bailey, Premier Bookhouse, Pakistan. A slave is the property of his or her master. He or she is subject to the master's power. In such a master should kill his slave, he is not liable to retaliation. With female slaves, the master has the mulki mot at, or right of enjoyment, as his children by them, when acknowledged have the same rights and privileges, and the children by his wives. A slave is incompetent to anything that implies the exercise of authority over others. Hence a slave cannot be witness, a judge, an executioner, or a guardian to anything but his or her master and his or her children. A slave cannot inherit from anyone but a bequest to him to bequest to his or her master. You see, Muslims break down society into 2 distinct classes. The non-Muslim class, called the dhimmi. These Jews and Christians are regulated second-class non-citizens, lacking any legal or human rights, living nearly as slaves for the benefit of Muslim survival. The dhimmi is regulated to pay a jizya tax, protection money, so anyone who is not Muslim is called kafar, an unbeliever, treated as haram, non-kosher dogs and pigs. The Ummah Muslim nation are the defenders of the cause of Allah, to which all must submit and obey. In other words, the Muslim is not only obliged to enforce civil laws to which Western societies are accustomed, but they must also enforce Islamic moral code, the way everyone dresses, the time to pray, business hours, dietary laws. Every aspect of life must adhere to the Sharia Islamic law. Muslims are always the first to complain about the Jews in Hollywood and how both are obsessed with sex and the glamour mentality. But what is not permissible to Muslims on earth is acceptable in heaven. Quran chapter 52, verse 24. Angels and handsome young boys as pearls well guarded. Quran chapter 56, verse 17. Perpetual freshness. Quran chapter 76, verse 19. Thou seest them, would think them scattered pearls. Quran chapter 47, verse 15. Rivers of wine, rivers of milk, which the taste never changes, a joy to those who drink, and rivers of honey pure and clear. Quran chapter 37, verse 40 through 48. Served with goblets, filled at a gushing fountain, white and delicious to those who drink it. It will neither dull their senses nor befuddle them. Quran chapter 78, verse 31. Bosom virgins for companions, a truly overflowing cup. Those virgins are bashful, undefiled by man or demon. Upon entering heaven, Muslims believe that they will have the Kawthar river and have sex with as many women as they like. But women are not all they only receive in heaven. Al-Qusad's Al Arabia, London, May 11, 2001. Muhammad Galak Al-Kushk. Al-Kushk wrote, "The men of the paradise have sexual relations not only with women who come from this world and with the black-eyed, but also with the serving boys. According to Quran, Al-Kush also stated, in paradise, a believer's penis is eternally erect." Hadith Malik 362-1221. Ibn Fad said, "I have some slave girls who are better than my wives, but I do not desire that they should all become pregnant. Shall I do azul, withdrawal with them?" Hajjaj said, "They are yours fields of cultivation. If you wish to irrigate them, then do so. If not, keep them dry." So, if the Muslims think they are not pedophiles, they have a long way to go to prove it, because in Gaza in 2009, girls under 10 years of age were married to 450 men around age 20. Fact, Muhammad was married to a 6-year-old bride. And here are some of the pictures to prove it to you on my right side. The problem with Islamists is simply this. Muslims believe that to die for the cause of Allah is an assurance of salvation and entry into paradise called Shaheed. Christian religion accepts that one man, Jesus Christ, died for our sins, and whoever believes and accepts in him receives salvation. Islam rejects that Christ died for all humanity. The Muslims must have a merit to get into heaven, but how much is enough? Islam itself means submission, not peace. Submission to the complete will of Allah, Islamic God, and the duties laid out in the Quran for his followers. And this includes jihad. Jihad was never a struggle within, according to the Ibn Qumad al-Muscati, Ibn Tamir, and Ibn Abadan. Jihad is exhausting the uttermost effort, fighting for the sake of Allah, directly by your body, or by assisting the money, or by you saying, or by recruiting mujahideen, Islamic fighters, or by any other means to help fighting.